Daniel had always believed in hard work. It was stitched into the fabric of his being, passed down from his father, who worked at the same steel factory in Ohio for over 40 years. For Daniel, work wasn't just about money, it was about doing something with your hands, about purpose. He wasn't the type to chase side hustles, trade crypto, or build a personal brand. That was for other people. Daniel just showed up every single day. For 27 straight years, Sam Boots. Same quiet nod to the security guard at the gate. He was a senior technician at a mid-sized packaging factory. People joked that the machines would fall apart if Daniel ever took a sick day. He rarely did. When the new HR manager asked about retirement plans, Daniel would just chuckle and say, "Retire? I wouldn't know what to do with myself." But in late spring, something changed. One Monday, Daniel noticed a strange new setup near line 4. A shiny, robotic arm had been installed next to the conveyor belt. It looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. "What's this thing?" Daniel asked, sipping his lukewarm coffee. "Your new assistant," said the shift manager with a smirk. Daniel laughed at first. The machine was fast, quieter than the other equipment. It didn't take breaks, didn't need gloves, didn't make mistakes. The supervisor said it could work 24/7 without complaining. Daniel tried not to think about it. Machines come and go, he told himself. But this one, this one was different. Every week it moved faster, it adjusted, it learned. It didn't just assist, it outperformed. 3 weeks later, 2 junior technicians were quietly let go. Daniel asked around. "Cost-cutting," someone whispered. "Efficiency," another said. The words sounded corporate, cold, like they came from a script. Daniel felt a pit forming in his stomach, but he still believed he was safe. He was the backbone of the place, the guy they called when things broke, the guy who trained half the crew. But then came the Thursday meeting. Daniel was called into the supervisor's office. There was coffee on the table, a folder labeled severance package. The manager avoided eye contact. "Dan, you've been an incredible asset to this company. 27 years, that's rare. But the company's moving in a new direction. Automation is helping us grow." And Daniel didn't hear the rest. His ears buzzed. His eyes locked on the folder. 27 years, reduced to a few polite sentences and a 2-week severance check. He didn't cry, he didn't argue. He simply nodded, stood up, and walked out, past the same machines he once repaired, past the same line workers he used to mentor. He drove home in silence. That night, he didn't eat. His wife Martha sat across from him at the dinner table, her fork barely touching her plate. "You okay?" she asked. He forced a smile. "I'm fine, just tired." But he wasn't fine. For the first time in his life, Daniel didn't know what to do next. His resume hadn't been updated in over a decade. He didn't know how to use LinkedIn. He didn't network. He couldn't code, didn't understand AI, and had no clue what a UX designer was. He was a man built for a world that no longer existed. Days turned into weeks. The house felt smaller, the air heavier. He applied for jobs, maintenance work, part-time repairs, even janitorial gigs, but either he was overqualified or the job had already been filled. One afternoon, Daniel took a walk through the old part of town. The main street was dotted with 4 lease signs, boarded-up shops, and fading memories. But then something caught his eye. A small repair shop, Miller S. Fixit, had a sign in the window. "Help wanted. No experience needed. Good hands, welcome." He stepped inside. The bell chimed. Behind the counter stood a wiry old man, probably in his 70s, tinkering with a toaster. "You hiring?" Daniel asked. The man looked up, smiled. "You any good with tools?" Daniel nodded. "I used to be. Good enough for me," the man said. The pay wasn't great. The hours were irregular. But Daniel came back the next day. And the next, he learned how to fix old radios, sewing machines, even VCRs. Turns out, people still wanted things repaired, not everything had to be replaced. Word spread. Customers came in, asking for the new guy with the steady hands. A local newspaper ran a story, "Laid off. Tech finds purpose in fixing the past." Something about that headline made Daniel smile. He wasn't making what he used to, but he was sleeping better, laughing more. He brought home little things. He fixed restored fans, vintage coffee makers for Martha. She said it felt like dating all over again. Then one day a teenager came into the shop. His name was Julian. He wanted to learn. Said he was tired of screens, wanted to build things, real things. Daniel started teaching him, just like he used to in the factory. One kid became 2, then 3. On Saturdays, the back of the shop became a mini workshop for anyone who wanted to learn to fix instead of throw away. Daniel didn't have fancy degrees. He didn't speak the language of algorithms and data science. But he had something else: wisdom, patience, and the understanding that being useful means more than being profitable. One evening, Daniel sat on the porch with Martha, watching the sunset over their small neighborhood. He took a sip of coffee and said, "You know, I thought I was nothing without that job." She looked at him and smiled. "You were never the job done, you were always more." Maybe he'd been replaced by a robot, but he found something better: purpose, people, peace.